Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. This is Lifestyle Critic, where we break down movies and TV shows into their core elements. And in this video we are going to be reviewing Coming to America, which is the long-awaited sequel from the movie which got produced 30 years ago and brings all of the characters from the first movie back. Now it does a really good job in terms of continuing the storyline by introducing the next generation and having the classic characters now being older and wiser. Now it does follow very similar storyline beats to the first movie, but unfortunately it just doesn't have the same magic that the original had, and I'm going to be breaking it all down for you in this movie review. So from a storyline point of view, Prince Akeem becomes king of Zamunda and he has 3 daughters. Now tradition states that he needs a male heir to pass his throne onto, and then coincidentally enough finds out that he actually has got a son from his time in Coming to America, the first movie. So he then heads back to America to try to find his son and try to convince him to take up the mantle of being Prince of Zamunda. The film then explores whether or not his elaborate plan will work, what his son is actually like, whether or not he would actually want to take up this mantle, what his daughters think about this, and also explores the monarchy that's associated with having relationships with different countries and how it can potentially avoid war, and all of that is wrapped up in a bit of a comedic sequel, which is brilliant from a storyline point of view. So from a casting characters point of view, all of the cast are absolutely hilarious in this film, and some of them are really playing the serious roles as well. So let's go through them one by one. So first up we have Eddie Murphy, who is back as Prince Akeem, and of course he's playing loads of different cameos in this film like he did with the first film. This time around he gets really carried away with all of the rules that he has to impose as the king leader, and he needs to be reminded of how he found love in the first place in the first movie. He's obviously as hilarious as ever, and actually this time he shares the lead role with loads of other different characters as well. Next up we have Arsenio Hall, who is back as the semi-character. He's definitely going along with Prince Akeem again with all of his crazy little plans, and similarly to last time he has loads of different cameo appearances in this movie as well. Next up we have Jermaine Fowler, who plays Lavelle Johnson, who is Akeem's son, and it is exploring in this film whether or not he actually wants to take up the mantle of the prince role, and if he does, whether or not he's going to be fit enough to pass certain trials to get that position. He is entering into this world, and he also has a similar story arc to Prince Akeem from the first movie. Next up we have Leslie Jones, who plays Mary Johnson, the absolutely hilarious character who is Lavelle's mother. And she is a character from America that comes into this world, and her reaction to all of the luxury and all of the palaces and all of that sort of thing is absolutely hilarious. Obviously she has a new family dynamic with the Prince Akeem character and Prince Akeem's wife. So all of those little dynamics are really interesting, and this character is bringing the humour in this movie. Next up we have Kiki Lane from The Old Guard, and in this movie she is playing a character called Mika, who is the firstborn daughter from Prince Akeem and actually would be the next in line to the throne, but obviously she can't have that at the moment because of the rules that it can only go to a male heir. Next up we have Shari Headley, who plays Prince Akeem's wife, and she is the character that he met and fell in love with in America from the first movie. I feel like she doesn't do that much in this movie, but she does give him a bit of a reality check from time to time. And then finally we have Wesley Snipes in this movie, and he is playing the somewhat villain character that wants to marry into the Akeem family, otherwise he will go into war with them. So from a cast and characters point of view, they're pretty rounded and pretty decent in this movie. So from a visuals point of view, everything does look really great. Zamunda, the palace, looks absolutely incredible. The McDonald's ripoff looks absolutely hilarious as well. All of the over-the-top events look really glamorous as well. When they go to America and New York City, those scenes look really great as well. It's just they're not there for that long. And for a movie that's called Coming to America, and especially after the first film was absolutely hilarious in America, it's just a shame that you don't see more of those brilliant scenes. It's fine that the majority of the scenes are taking place in Zamunda. It just would have been nice to kind of see a little bit more from the America aspect. But that being said, the visuals are really great in this movie. So from a comparison point of view, it's a really nice continuation in this series to see what happens next with all of the brilliant characters from Coming to America, seeing the new generation, seeing how all of them interact, seeing the wisdom that they can learn and actually that they can impart to the older generation is really, really great. But like I said before, I do prefer the original to the sequel. In terms of Eddie Murphy sequel movies, I think this is much stronger than the Dr. Dolittle sequel, but not as strong as the Nutty Professor and Beverly Hills Cop sequel. So from a comparison point of view, I'd say it's kind of in the middle. So overall, I would say, you know, Coming to America is a great movie. I did enjoy kind of revisiting this world, revisiting these characters, having a laugh along the way. I mean, it did have a lot riding on it. They announced this movie quite a few years ago, and there's been so much anticipation and expectation for this movie. I don't think it necessarily met those expectations as well as it could have done. But that being said, it is an enjoyable movie, and for all of those reasons, I'm going to give it a solid 5.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.